It is the 5th week of January. We got 5 Wednesdays, which means that the comic book industry is giving us its runoff.
Mm.
But, but there's some quality there. There could be. That's what we're here to talk about today on Pals Pulls. We've got Marco,
Boom pop Marco.
Tyler.
I'm gonna ignore what Marco said, but runoff just sounds gross.
Look, man, you're applying the way your mind works to my words, and that's not right.
I'm just saying, king of paws.
What
King
type
of pause.
king of? He said king of paws. What kind of nickname is that for me?
I'm
That's
just
not what we're
saying. I'm
going
just saying. Once BJ watches this, he'll agree. He'll agree.
All right. Well, that's Tyler. I'm Sean. Thank you for being here. Whether you are live or in the future, really appreciate you. Make sure you hit that like button. And we've got
Count them.
six of this week's biggest books. We've got Green Lantern number 19.
Let's go.
Green Lantern, the main book this week. How about that?
That shows you it's a fifth week.
Indeed. We've got Lex Luthor Special number 1.
Let's go.
Uh-huh. We've got Ultimate X-Men number 11, the listener pick poll winner this week.
Thank you, listeners.
Yeah, thanks a lot. We've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 6.
That Hornier Fornes cover, right? Oof. Good
Yes,
stuff.
yes, indeed, it is. And uh, we also have the Seasons number 1 and Redcoat number 9. Now, I don't have those comics.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
I do not have them. That is because Diamond is a menace.
Oh no.
Now they're
Yeah,
attacking New York?
My shop had no Image comics this week in
Wait,
stores.
none?
That's wild.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So thanks to Image big time for always keeping us in the loop as far as advanced previews and reviews. I was able to review those 2 books through them. So thank you to Image for that.
Bless.
But I don't know, guys. It's not looking great.
Damn, that's a shame.
That's bad, especially for Hydra Comics to not get it.
Yeah.
That's probably
Damn.
the biggest comics distributor on the East Coast, possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah. People get their shit online for them too.
And
At least in the East Coast.
Yikes.
I was hoping you'd have that print version so I could call out some panels, but all right. We'll make do.
You could always.
Sadly, no.
Yeah.
Sadly, no. Stoops says, just jumping in. Dope show. Thank you, Stoops. Listen, if you're enjoying the show already, all right, then you're in for a treat because we haven't even talked about a damn comic. Thank you, Stoops. Speaking of talking about comics, let's get right into it. Let's start with Green Lantern number 19. This is written by Jeremy Adams, joined on art by 3 different artists. Fernando Passarin, Eau Claire Albert, Jason Paz, with colors by Romulo Fajardo Jr., letters by Dave Sharp. Wow. So 3 different artists on the title. That is not typically what I would want out of a jumping on point for a book, but that is what Green Lantern number 19 is trying to be at the very least. It basically takes us to a flat place where there is some stuff going on in the background. We know about Sorrow, who is, Starfire's former boyfriend, who is mad because he lost his girl.
Damn, ain't it the way, bro?
It really is.
I get it, dude.
Term my man villainous. And the basically the spectrum of emotions and rings is fractured. And so we're seeing all kinds of anomalies and stuff. And the Green Lantern Corps, which is officially back together, they're trying to figure out the way forward. So that's basically where we're at with this one. Not the most exciting issue of Green Lantern, but I am curious to hear what Marco, who is a newcomer to this stuff, thought of this one.
I that's exactly where I wanted to start because I loved this one. I thought as a jumping on point because I can imagine there being so much baggage and carryover from like previous storyline. To what you said, flat. That felt good because I could see the kind of machinations in the background, but I'm still getting caught up to speed with characters. I'm still getting caught up to speed with the lay of who exists in this world, who are the relationships, and so I really appreciate Adams for being able to prepare kind of a intro issue, and it felt catered to me. It felt classic comics as well. There were a lot of moments of what feels like things are extenuating outside of this book. Like there exists other heroes, so I can feel integrated into the DC universe. I see the relationship between Hal and Star Sapphire here, and I get understanding. I get a basis. I get a foundation. So I thought this knocked it out of the park.
Marco, you could just be honest. You liked the Superboy smut that was in this book.
The Superboy, yo, that shit was crazy. What is it? Kelly always talks about like getting some sexualizing different characters and or
Yeah.
different genders. Yo, a full on page of abs, crazy.
That was the wettest I've seen Connor Kent ever.
Hey, yo,
Who's been wetter? Jesus Christ, my man was drenched.
What was he even
Aquaman,
doing?
bro.
Like, they don't explain what he was there for.
I was hoping one of you guys would actually be able to tell me because I didn't understand what the fuck was going
Was
on.
he digging for oil? Like, I didn't get that at
Yo.
all. It literally is just cheesecake, which I'm fine with it. Let's put the cheesecake on the other shoe. Every so
Yeah,
often, you know?
1000% cheesy on the other plate, as it were.
I like this enough. I think the creative team, being so big as it was, it's more of a creative core. What didn't really feel, I didn't feel it in this. Like, it wasn't until you told me that they had multiple artists. I don't think I noticed it. So the artists are at least similar enough where it didn't jump out to me when I was reading it. So if you're gonna do multiple artists, at least in the same style, that's probably what I prefer. Unless there is a story element that justifies that, use, like the way New Gods does it. So this didn't bother me, but I thought this was a pretty fine issue. It is a little weird because I feel like the last couple of Green Lantern issues have been Green Lantern Corps number ones, as opposed to Green Lantern issues. So this kind of going back to, let's focus on Hal, let's give him a supporting cast that aren't Green Lantern members, and he gets to do Green Lantern shit. And then they even reintroduce a classic Green Lantern villain in this. I thought that was good. I thought that was a good way to kind of go forward with this. Because we do have Green Lantern Corps coming up, and that's when I'll get what's on the cover of this book. A strange cover for this issue. But yeah, I thought it was a pretty fun book. I'm really liking the Jeremy Adams' run on Green Lantern. It's probably my favorite one since... I was going to say John's, but I did like Vendetti's run as well.
Yeah, you guys can hear me, right?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I felt the cool down from where we were, the heights of where we were, pretty hard in this issue. I definitely understand and appreciate the fact that Jeremy kind of wants to make sure that people can pick up this issue and jump in and not be lost, and that's definitely the case. Not only do you have most of the Green Lanterns that people care about present in this issue, you also get Sorrow, who is, not the main villain, but the main patsy, it looks like. And you also even get the Justice League. They make an appearance. So you get to see a lot of things in just this one issue. And I think it sets up the main players pretty well. I like the fact that I didn't think this was such a good cliffhanger, but, we do see a Red Lantern towards the end or at the end. And so that was kind of cool. We know that they're going to be involved. I just felt like there could have been more heat to this. I felt like there could have been a little more excitement, a little more intrigue. I know what's going on, and I didn't feel too high off of this first piece of this arc. So I wonder how somebody who is coming into this completely fresh as their first issue of Green Lantern, at least for this run, like, how do they feel about it? Not that it was bad. It wasn't bad. I just wish that there was a little bit more cooking.
The Starbreakers core. I guess I'm assuming a new concept. So for me that felt like it had weight just to the point on like coming into this. Um, and uh, because I have a tangential understanding of the emotional spectrum, for me the
In real
interest
life.
of that too, yeah.
Nice.
um seeing the red and it not being like explicit in saying something but just like the color, the imagery, I was like, oh cool, okay, I'm gonna get a flavor of different things. That's intriguing, that's enticing.
Yeah, so the Starbreaker core is new. Starbreaker is not. That's a classic Green Lantern villain. But like that was a
Okay.
Green Lantern villain from like way back when, before the Spectrum was a thing. So I do like when they throw like Krona, like when Krona shows up. I do like when we get non-Spectrum uh, Green Lantern characters. You know, so it's cool to see him again. Marco, now that you are a Green Lantern fan, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Where would you be on the spectrum? Not like that.
um I'm somewhere between like sociable
No, okay,
and
okay,
function.
okay. Sean, he's not fully in he's not fully
uh
ensconced
I
in
don't know.
Green Lantern
I
world.
feel like I like the love aspect, I guess, like the sympathetic and whatnot.
You'd probably be a Star Sapphire. I can see it.
I can see it.
Yeah, I can see it.
He'd be a Black Lantern.
My boy
Dead.
Swamp Thing. Oh no, he was a White
Yeah,
Lantern.
he
Never
was he
mind.
was White Lantern.
No, because you're all about like acceptable losses and death and shit.
Just
If it
numbers, baby.
balances the scales.
Right. Tyler, you consider yourself which?
That's a good question. Uh, I know what I wouldn't be. I would not be a Red Lantern. That's for sure. Maybe Indigo. I think is probably where I end up, which is like the most boring one, but I think that's the most accurate one.
I think I would. I mean, I would love to say green. I think we would all love to say green,
Sure.
but I would probably have to say probably red. Probably red. Red or blue? I don't know.
I could see red. You could pull it off. Just blood coming out your mouth.
Sick.
Hanging out with
Bloody.
Dexstar. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yo.
Love it. James Jones says Marco has an Excel sheet lantern.
I guess that would be
Green.
green.
That's
Yeah.
that's green. Hey, I'll take it.
Oh shit. Yeah, I mean, look, I thought the art was solid, I agree that even though it was three different artists, it wasn't that jarring. There were some pages where I was like, "Oh, whoa, we definitely shifted." But I just feel like there wasn't a lot to write home about with this one. I really came into this hoping that we would get something a little bombastic, and I already know Jeremy Adams can do that because the last 18 issues of this series was that. So I'm not going to judge him and say like, "Oh, I don't have faith," because I do. I just think that there could have been a little bit more spice here. Still a strong issue, and definitely something that I think, if you jumped on with this one, like, sure, you're in good hands.
Yeah, it's like a solid 7 out of 10 for me. You know what I mean? Like it's something I would recommend for people as a starting point. It's a cool down issue, but it's not. We're not deep in the story of this arc and where all the stakes are there and all the actions there yet. So it has a potential. Jeremy Adams does that. So pretty fine book. Oh, Matt Fisher was wondering where he was. He says with the $2 super chat, "What's up, hot dogs? Book of the week is Ultimate X-Men." We'll get to it.
Oh,
We'll get to it.
interesting. Okay. And just to piggyback off what you were saying, Tyler, I think I agree that it doesn't feel like we're at a height, but I think because this was handled so well, I can see like the ramp. I can
Yep.
see where the traction can go, and it feels like Adams is a capable writer off of two issues alone. So I'm very excited.
The fact that
I'm
Jeremy
hyped for
Adams,
this.
yeah, the fact that Jeremy Adams was able to meld in PKJ's Green Lantern War Journal into the greater Green Lantern mythos and that one shot or special or whatever was like, oh, this guy understands Green Lantern, and so he gets a long leash from me. So I am perfectly fine with having a kind of a quieter get the pieces together issue.
Sure.
And I am aligned with that, which means that's a green flag for the Green Lantern, baby. Of course, of course.
Oh, pull.
Do you still have
Absolute.
your Green Lantern rings at all, Sean, from the Jeff Johns era that you used to give out
You
in
know,
shops?
I actually do, and I need to comb through this desk mess to find it, but it is somewhere on my desk. Yeah. Do you have yours?
I have my Black Lantern ring somewhere. I don't know where the green ones are.
Damn, I didn't get a black one. That's annoying.
Well, give me a second. My cat just threw up on my desk. Hold on, guys.
Oh, all right, cool. Well, while Tyler cleans up that nastiness, I want to get a few more minutes for the poll. I want you guys to get active in the poll. You guys know if you show up live, one perk, if you will, is you get to vote on the book that we're talking about at the moment. So right now, we're talking Green Lantern number 19, and you guys can say poll, pick of the week, pass, didn't buy or read. Let us know where you're at with this book. I think if you are not reading Green Lantern, this is a fine issue to start with.
Hmm.
So as a jumping on point, sure, get in, and you'll have a good time.
Yeah, agreed. I think the biggest thing for me has been those entry points, and I appreciate that we've been trying to hit those, and this finally connected. So I'm glad that like I've been met here.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and end the poll. Omar Ali says stopping by to say what's up. What's up, dude? Thanks for stopping in.
Hey, what's going on?
47% of you say pull, 38% say didn't buy or read. Pick of the week is 8% of you, and 5% said pass. All right.
Wow.
All right. More people need to be swayed. That's what that looks like to me.
Yep.
But it's
Um,
funny because so much of the conversation in the first year of the Jeremy Adams Green Lantern was this is the best DC book.
I
That's
mean,
what a lot
it
of
was like right before all the All In stuff, where a lot of that traction that Green Lantern had started going to the other books too. I just think DC has a lot of good books right now, which is kind of just spreading that out a little more.
and that's a great problem, so to speak, to have. And it means that everybody's got to step up and everybody's got to put out great comics. And that's the fun of this era that we seem to be in now, where it's like like iron sharpens iron in the best possible way. Everybody's pushing each other.
yeah, especially on the DC side, it feels like you throw a rock, you hit a good book.
Hell yeah. So what do we have to announce? What do we have to announce? First of all, we have to talk about patreon.com/the comics pals. If you guys want to support us, that's the best place to do it. We are always giving you bang for your buck. Marco, the spreadsheet man, put out or is or has put out his weekly, his monthly newsletter. Did that go out already, Marco?
That's going out tonight. I thought the
Nice.
numbers were easier to crunch than they were.
Okay.
You need a RAM upgrade
Yeah.
internally. I don't want to know where
Take
the
it.
RAM slot is though.
Oh.
Hey, yo.
So yeah, that's one of the many things you can experience over on our Patreon page. In addition to that, we talked about the book club. We're doing Captain America month. So I'm gonna get the nomination threads and such up today, tonight, so you guys can cast your noms and get us rolling on that side of things. And Saturday at 10:15 a.m. Eastern, we've got a lot to talk about. There's a lot of fallout from the Diamond bankruptcy and
Yup.
all of that madness to get into. So tons of stuff to talk about on Saturday. Hope to see you guys then. Um, yeah, yeah, good stuff. Let's talk about our next book. Lex Luthor Special number 1. This was written by Joshua Williamson, who's been shepherding the Superman character for the last year and change. Eddie Barrows on the pencils, inks by Iber Ferreira, colors by Adriano Lucas, letters by Dave Sharp. Now, Lex Luthor has lost his memory. He lost his memory a ways back, and he's kind of a nice guy now. Now that he doesn't have the baggage of his past, he's a decent guy, but he's not the brainiac, so to speak, that he once was. He's not the cunning genius that he used to be. And with the way the world is, they kind of need that version of Lex. And so this issue is kind of calling into question, like, should we bring him back? Should we, you know, is there a way to bring him back? And do we want to unleash that on the world again? Um, how did Tyler? I think this was one that you were kind of looking forward to. How did this play out for you?
I think this was my pick of the week, actually. I
Oh,
really enjoyed this. I love Lex Luthor as a character. I've always loved Lex even more than I've liked Superman traditionally, because in my time reading him, he's always been a complex character, and I found more complex in Superman. That's probably shifted as I've gotten older, but the dissection of Lex here is kind of really simple. The way Williamson handles it, he's a man right now that knows he did some bad shit, and he's not trying to move past it. He's aware that he was a horrible person, and he's okay with being judged for that because that's just the reality of things. But he's also trying to be better. And in a way, the way Lex is right now is the way Superman's always wanted him to be. And it's the version of Superman the version that Superman always knew Lex could be as well. So now that he is this I guess best version of himself, he needs to be evil again, or at least teeter onto the dark side a bit. And it the way it kind of messes with Superman, I found really interesting in this. Like Superman's first reaction was, "Okay, let me just talk to Lex. We'll figure it out. He's got to be back to Lex by now." And even Superman realizes, like, "Oh no, I've ignored this dude because I don't care much about him." But he's actually good now, and I feel bad that I even thought about asking him to do this. So that whole I guess dilemma that Superman goes through in this issue is great. And I also thought the framing device of Lex as a child and the idea of music and the idea of music helping, which is a real thing, helping people gain memories back, was really smart to use in this. And flashing back to Lex's like really bad childhood always makes him likable because you feel bad for him. So there's a bit of that. And then that final page that we get where Lex finally remembers how to play the piano, which we assume means he has his memories back. And it's all shrouded in darkness, even though he's playing probably a really nice song. I thought it was a really great ending to it. And I also just love Eddie Barrows. So the Eddie Barrows art really always pops me anytime that's in a book.
yeah. I think the emotional weight carries through, and I think that's the biggest thing you need with Superman is the emotional weight. You need to be able to make people care for what somebody who's all powerful like Superman, like what affects him. And in this case, this is affecting him. Lex and who he is now is affecting him. And to that last page, there is a sense of like dread, but based on the conversation, there's also maybe an aspect of him knowing that he's no longer this person and potentially does remember and is still trying to make the effort. There's a bit of ambiguity that I really liked because then I think it further makes Lex in the situation a complex character. And I've been really enjoying the dynamic, like the moment where they're in the park and uh, they're chit chatting, um, and there's a question about whether or not he still cares uh, about what's her name,
Mercy?
Mercy,
Mercy, yeah.
and where she's like, "Oh, one that you don't want to solve?" Question mark. And I felt bad. I felt like, oh damn, like she's falling for him. This might change their relationship, and so yeah, all around that I could feel that, and I think that that's good done on the part of the writing. And then the art, real strong. I liked how there's the moment in the park as well where the page is kind of tilted,
Mm.
like onto the side, which I thought is interesting. Like things are
Off.
things are off.
Yeah.
It's an idyllic moment, but things are off. Things are feeling a little weird. So
Wait,
what does this mean? And then we get the flashbacks, and so um, yeah, all around there's a lot of like little subtle mystery being put in there that I really appreciated. It just it makes for tension in small ways.
Yeah, there's a comment here in the chat by Matt Cosmo. Is there a reason this was his own special and not just an issue of Superman? Just curious. That's probably my only gripe for it because it feels like it could just be an issue of Superman.
Yeah.
But I guess Superman's in the middle of an arc right now and they need to get this story out. So that's the only reason I could think about it being that way.
Yeah, and I mean, if they're playing parallel too, like I think that that's fine. Um, I guess to be fair, then that's what is this, an extra 5.99? So there's that consideration, but yeah, if it's not that, then at the very least, you get a good one-off story, and that's always a good thing.
Yeah. What is your opinion on Eddie Barrows, like as an artist? Like it's a lot of heavy shadows in his art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It almost started looking like a little. Perkins is too strong, but like the shadow, like the detail of it. There's some Kelly Jones in there with like there's a one big page spread of Superman kind of holding two villains, and you kind of see like the muscular structure. I get reminded of Kelly Jones and that kind of thing. The inking is incredible, so uh, really really strong.
Can you guys hear me? Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
you should be
Yeah.
able to. Yeah, I thought this was a an all right book. I've gotten more connected to Lex over the last, however long this storyline's been playing out, and getting to see him and Mercy, which Banksy, that's a great joke, and I'm loving what you guys are doing in the chat. But I've loved all that. The Lex stuff has been great, and so I was excited to see how they would play it here. I don't know if I loved the execution all the way through.
Mm.
I thought that there would be more to the idea of Lex returning and that it would have to be something forced. This seems to imply that playing the music and being reminded of that is bringing his memories back, and I think it's a little too easy. I was hoping that Superman would have to choose to bring back Lex, or maybe Lex would have to choose to return, for it to be a moment where he has to make a choice, or somebody has to make a choice. And because it's not being presented or framed that way, that I didn't love. And nothing really happens here. Like, we realistically don't get. I guess what we get is that he remembers, but it's not done in a satisfactory way. So if this is his full comeback, this ain't it. And if it's not, then I don't know why we needed this and why this couldn't just play out in the margins of Superman proper.
You don't think the ambiguity like adds a like a mystery or an effect?
I don't really want mystery or an effect. I think it's really interesting to have
Mm.
to narratively, and for the characters, for someone to have to make the decision, to choose. Is Superman willing to choose to bring back his worst enemy to solve this problem? Is Lex willing to choose to give up this new life that he loves in order to save the world? Those are meaningful decisions that characters in superhero comics should have to make, and they're taking that away.
I think he does make a choice though. Lex does. Because earlier on in the book, he plays the piano. He's like, I can't do it. I give up. I give up. And then his sister pretty much says, like, oh, you got to keep trying. I think this will work. Him keeping trying, even after all of that, proves that he's willing to get his memories back and eventually fix it. So he is making a choice here to do something to regain his memories.
Mhm.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Why is he making that choice?
I think it's because that the way I read it was that it's because Superman asked him to, and he realized there were stakes involved. I don't think it's explicitly stated. I think it's inferred by actions, but it
Like
still felt like a Lex making that decision. He realized he was
mhm.
needed, and this is the only way he could do it.
Ah, man, I don't know. The that one page is Superman says, "You don't want to remember," and Lex says, "No, I don't. I don't want to be that version of Lex ever again." And so from on that page, he goes from that feeling to, he says, "Here's a question I have for you. Do you believe the world is a better place with Lex Luthor in it?" And then Superman says, "You're right. I shouldn't be pushing you like this. It's your choice." That implies to me, I guess, that he made the decision in that conversation. It doesn't that doesn't feel weighty.
I can see it in the moment, and I can see that like it's not maybe as explicit. The and the presentation of it just being Superman kind of aghast at himself. It's your choice.
Well, he didn't answer the question. That's the thing.
Well,
And not
but
answering the question. The question is answering the question. His answer is yes.
because presumably he walks away. His the light changes in this, right? Like we're led to assume that, I guess.
I think I would have appreciated this Lex thing playing out a little bit more organically over time. I think it
That I agree
feels
with.
very
Yeah.
quick in this comic, and I don't think it has the punch that this could have had. And that led me to being pretty disappointed, even though I don't think this is a bad book.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that because
Fair.
the Superman even recognizes it. He's like, "Oh, I haven't checked in on you." Like if we've not really had any interaction with good Lex and Superman, and it kind of feels like Lex might be needed for the DC universe as a whole to probably be Mr. Terrific's alter, really. And so they needed to bring him back right away, and that's why this is special, not issue 23.
Yeah.
Yeah, like where has Lex been? I mean, he's appeared in the main Superman book to be sure, but they haven't progressed with him too much.
His whole shtick in the past couple issues was, "I feel like a really good guy now,"
Yeah, yeah.
but it's always been with Mercy or his sister.
Right. That's all that they played with him. Um, and I guess yeah, to that end, this is so that they can have him in the reserve, and be like, oh, let's throw him in now. He's a bad guy. He's back. Oh, did you not read, the Lex special? Well, just in case, catch you up. He's good. He's bad now.
Right. Well, there are some pretty important things that happen in this issue, irrespective of Lex's turn, because the thing that they need him for is to try to figure out what happened in DC All In. Go ahead, Tyler.
And this is where I was going to say my gripe is with this because Mr. Terrific pretty much recruits Lex to say, "Hey, I can't figure out what happened with this dark side stuff because it has to deal with the dark side of knowledge, and I don't like to go there. I like to stay positive, bro." And I'm like, "No, Mr. Terrific will do that. Like that seems like a weird reasoning.
Yeah.
Like
So
he's going to find a way to figure out the problem, even if it means getting a little dark with it."
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think the way that that was handled just came across pretty poorly. Um, it came across pretty poorly. I didn't like the way that Mr. Terrific was just kind of like, yeah, man, I don't know what the fuck is going on. And not only that, but I don't want to look at it that deeply. Like, no, no, no.
You instantly get deranked on the list of smartest people if you start doing that.
And also, Lex is not a member of the league historically. So how did they get by before him? Do they don't call, it's not like they call on Lex when a dark problem comes up. So
word. It
Maybe
gave
he's
me
getting he's getting confused with Alexander Luthor for the multiverse stuff. So Mr. Terrific just looked at his phone book incorrectly.
yeah.
weak, weak, weak. You know what though? The Eddie Barrows artwork, excellent. Excellent.
Yeah.
I don't remember I think we saw him during the was it the Gail Simone Superman All
Yeah,
Star stuff.
when Superman had that like classic costume.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I thought that that was not the best Eddie Barrows. It didn't feel great. His faces, he does these mugs, and it's either like a mean mug or a, and here I thought they were a lot more character appropriate. His facial work, I thought he nailed the essence of who these people were, and his style wasn't like overbearing on them. I love how he draws Lex though.
his Lex is
Yep.
great. Also, kind of like he's got some traps on him, you know.
Yeah,
And like this feels more like Eddie Barrows on Tinian's detective run. That was like when Clayface was on the team, which I loved. That's where I was like, man, this is some really good Eddie Barrows. So yeah, it was nice to see some damn good Eddie Barrows in this.
To the point of the faces, he makes him sympathetic. Like when the woman splashes that coffee in his face, you can see it in his eyes. He's he's like almost like repenting. He's sad about things that he's done. He scratches the back of his head. His body's a little like down. So it's represented well.
Yeah, Eddie Barrows is a fantastic Superman artist, and I thought the flashback sequences were also excellent. Where they stripped the color, that looked really great. Um, this was a good looking comic. I really don't have anything bad to say about the visuals here. The colors were on point. It's all very good looking. I just feel I just struggle with the actual story content. I don't think it packs the punch that it needed to, and I also don't think it puts Mr. Terrific in the best light. And for those reasons, I'm gonna pull on this, but it's not a. I'm not fully happy with this. I thought I was gonna get more out of this, and I didn't. So pull, but a weak one.
Yeah, pull.
Pulled It Down's my pick of the week. Yeah, I'm still.
Yeah.
Will I regret
I
that
had
later?
you.
Who knows? I had trouble picking one this week.
Oh, I had you as something else. So
Well, you're wrong, Marco. So
yeah.
deal
Well,
with it.
hey, there it is.
All right, well, let's see what the listeners had to say. We've had the poll up, and you guys say didn't buy or read 39%. Okay. Pull 36%, pick of the week, 18% pass is 5%. Why not buy or read this? I'm wondering, like, if I didn't have this show to do, would I have purchased this? And I think I would have, based on the fact that I've been enjoying what's been happening in Superman.
Yeah, same.
Carlos says, "Is this the book that's $10?" No, that's Lex in the City. That's the
Sean, your mic just turned off. I don't know what happened there. But yeah, Lex in the City is the kind of anthology parody book. That's
Yeah.
kind of a joke book. I don't know.
Did you read that one?
I didn't pick it up.
No. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Did you
It's
pick it
a
up, Sean?
lot.
The Lex in the City?
I can't answer that.
Yeah, that's right.
Tried catching them, guys. I tried helping you out. Don't say I didn't do anything for you.
Uh Lucas says, I don't know why people think it's overpriced. The book is $4. So people are referring to the Lex in the City book that came out also this week. Yeah, that one's $9.99.
Oof.
This book is priced perfectly appropriately.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Most of DC's books this week were Lex Luthor books.
Exclusively. It's a big week for him.
Yeah, he's a hot commodity. We haven't read any comments really from you guys so far today. What are you saying? Gavin's here with us. What it do, nerds? What's up, Gavin? How's it going, man?
What was it? Banksy Main gave a shout out to Task Force Z, saying Task Force Z was some good Barrows. That's an underappreciated book. Like I said, that's a damn good fun book.
I didn't check that out.
I think Suicide Squad, except they're zombies.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
It sounds
You know what
stupid, but it was really fun.
I'm in the middle of rewatching The Walking Dead.
Really? What season are you on?
I'm by the tail end of season 2. I just started.
Okay.
So you're almost at the governor?
I don't remember the order of operations. I just know that we're in the farm at the moment.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. That's where it was
Yeah.
really slow.
That one's slow. Yeah.
The farm?
Yeah.
Early Walking Dead, I
Oh.
remember being really slow.
No. I'm like 8 issues. It's crazy. I'm having such a fun time. Not mind you, of course, I'm binging, so I'm not watching them week over week. But I remember being enthralled by this shit when it was first airing.
That's where I fell off. I fell off because of that second season, and then I tried to rewatch it, and same spot. It's like a hump for me.
My stomach still churns at the Glenn scene, and that's where I jumped off the show.
Mm.
It's like,
I
no,
want to see.
too gross.
Want to see it.
Cole says forcing his memories from some mind machine MacGuffin would be kind of lame. Maybe. I don't know. how does a person get their memory back? I don't know how that happens. I just feel like stories are largely driven by decisions, and those are the peak moments, and this didn't feel like a peak moment. I thought there was a way to get more out of that.
Hmm.
Uh, Comic Boom says the origins of Luthor are grounded in his childhood trauma, with music being an escape. That same music brings Lex his memory back.
Yeah, needed to remember it. Came out.
Okay, I like it. Atomic Hound says Lex's ego is always just below the surface. It is now surfaced and will soon start to rage. Is this the I don't know, because like we're doing the doomsday thing, we're in the middle of that. Like, when will this be reflected in Superman?
Atomic Hound also said, I got my memory back when Mrs. Hound confronted me with my invoice for organic priced books. That's where I would just be like, I would lose my memory at that point.
Yeah.
That's a way.
What?
That's a time to lose
Wait,
it. Yeah.
and you deflect. Me? No, I would never. Never.
Uh,
Uh,
People are asking who did the cover art. This was the same individual who did the interiors. It is
Yeah.
Eddie Barrows.
Great cover. I love the use of white space there.
Yeah, I don't know. I had no problem with the cover, but I guess other people feel differently with that one.
Oh, they didn't like the cover?
Yeah.
yeah, someone was
Oh,
calling it out.
interesting.
Looks good. I don't
The
know.
other one, the variant I have on screen is also Gleb Melkinov. So I don't know which
That
cover they're talking about.
that looks cool. Just Big Step Bro says, "Keep up the work, gents. Growth is showing."
Thanks.
Oh, what's
Appreciate
up,
it.
Big Step Bro? What are you doing, Big Step Bro? No, Sean doesn't. Okay, that's fine. We don't need to talk about that meme.
Lazaro Bosch says, "What's up, boys? I'm reading The New Frontier and Superman Peace on Earth for the first time, given the state of the world lately." Hey, that's cool, man. I think it's awesome to lean into the things that you love when times are hard, and I love that. For you, it's Superman comics. That's sick.
Man, I wish I could read New Frontier for the first time again.
I
Oh,
still have not read it.
oh,
My God.
so good.
It cemented Darwin Cook as top 3 of all time for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn. Tektronic says, "I really want to see Jonathan Hickman write a Superman book. I think he would have a field day here." Hey man, wherever he goes, I'm buying his book. I'm paying the Hickman tax, so bring it.
No doubt about it. No doubt. Comic book history says I smashed out 2 seasons of Silo the last 2 days, very painfully slow, but it's great. Dude, season 1 of Silo, peak. Season 2 of Silo, mid. Though you guys don't show up to hear my television reviews, so I'm gonna be very basic. I'll expound if we're talking comics, but that show was annoying this season, to say the least.
So to put it in Palace Pool's terms, season 1, green flag, season 2, red flag.
Season 2, probably green flag, but like half mast, like
R.I.P.
yeah, definitely. Gavin Guidry says between Sean not having read New Frontier and Tyler not reading All Star, I don't even know what to think anymore. I don't know what to tell you, man. Uh, New Frontier didn't do it for like I can't even say they do it for me. It just didn't like visually appeal to me. I also generally don't like period pieces. So I thought like, okay, it's not in continuity. It's some period in the past. Why do I care? I don't. I'm gonna pass. Obviously, I don't like that's not a daily feeling of mine. It's why I didn't read it, when I was in my mode of like going back and reading as much as I possibly could.
And Gavin, I've read both, so what does that say? I don't know.
Wow, Marco showing his real comic book fan cred here.
Gotta flash it when you can.
Fuck out of here.
And Jay, hey, it's true.
Big Step Bro says opinion on Battlestar Galactica 2004. Bro, I love the first season. That's all I've seen of it.
I watched that in my freshman year of college, hopped up on NyQuil. I watched all of it in like a week and a half. Just didn't sleep. was fighting that stuff like crazy. Love it. Great show. One
So
of my
it's me.
favorites.
Nice. Hell yeah. Trying to keep that conversation up because I don't want to talk about what you guys picked in the poll this week. No, Nero will not be deputizing Marco. That, of course, being Ultimate X-Men number 11. This is by Peach Momoko. Peach Momoko doing the writing and the art. She is joined as ever by Zach Davison, who is the translator, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Believe that's the case. Now, I have actually not been reading this. As you guys know, I've been out. I think I've missed the last 5 issues because we stopped at the closing of the arc. So I've missed the last 5. People have joined the cast since then. It appears to have expanded, which is nice. Um, and this issue largely revolves around the idea of the hashtag meat case. A body was discovered in a briefcase, and that sent the world into a tizzy last month. This month, people seem to not care as much. Um, People are talking about the meat case every now and then, but in the meantime, the children of the atom are meeting, and we're learning more about that, and that appears to be the cult of mutants that is sweeping the nation. That's all I got. What do you guys have to say about it?
I'm I'm sad that this is the book that we're jumping back on, because issue 9 was great, issue 10 was great, and then this slowed it down with a fight. There was like good character stuff that was being done, so um, I was a little disappointed by this issue. It became kind of like a fight, that really I wanted to keep pushing the story of what's been happening with the children of the atom. uh, I do like the end where we start to get some conflict between the cult, as well as Maystorm and some of the people that she's leading. But damn, I found this one a little more dense than, or a little more obtuse than the past couple issues where we've gotten a really good momentum. Um, so I was a little disappointed by this one.
So I caught up on all the issues for this because I had them. I just hadn't read them because I read alphabetically. Remember? So I got to all of it, and I gotta say I am enjoying the series as a whole. But this issue showcases what I don't like about the series,
Yeah.
in that the issues, issue by issue, are paced strangely. Like, look how this issue ends. It ends almost mid sentence. It feels like it ends very abruptly. I don't think the pacing issue to issue is my cup of tea. I think the art's really good. I think they've really fleshed out the characters since, I have a good understanding who each character is. Even the idea of like Maystorm versus Surge they address in issue 9, which Marco was talking about.
It's a good issue.
And I like the idea that there's this cult of mutant, I guess outcast is the best way to describe them.
Well, it's
They
a
almost look
religious
like,
cult.
yeah, and they almost look like the Morlocks in a way because a lot of them are physically mutated.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see that, and I like how it's almost like this urban legend in a way that's coming to light inside Japan, and I think that's good. I think having like one of the like a lot of the characters be tied into that and others not, but they're being pulled into that whole cult thing and the issues within it is great, and the art's phenomenal. I just think the pacing's really weird.
This one was all over the place.
Well, you know what, guys? Uh, I have not wanted to review this book for quite some time. I was over it. I have not been purchasing it. But I actually enjoyed this issue.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I did. I thought it was all right. It's not a book that I'm gonna keep buying if it's not picked by the listeners, but I had fun. I really like Peach Momoko's art style, I realize. And I like her panel layouts. I always loved the big paneling that she does, less panels on the page. You get more close-ups, more time spent with the characters. I like all that. I don't know if it's her introduction in this case to Psylocke, but I like Psylocke being here. That was cool. Um, I thought the meat case shit was funny as hell.
Especially when you have zero context to it.
Yeah.
Word. Um, I really don't have anything terribly to critique. Like, obviously, I still don't feel like it's an X-Men book, and all that shit that I've already said several times. But I'm not gonna lie, I didn't hate this. I did not hate this experience.
Okay. Hey, that's uh I feel good hearing that because I felt like this was a weaker issue. So if anything, that for me means like there's more promise here for somebody who's hopping on. And this isn't really a jumping on point either. We're in the middle of the arc, so it's also a little confusing, like with the Mike stuff, and then the May just like hanging out with the children of the Atom too, like can probably get a little confusing. Um, but I agree with Tyler that the cult aspect of this is really interesting, and I want them to play more into it. I want to know. I want to see like real consequences for the mutants that are associated. We got some of that in the last issue with like the unveiling, and there was like a protest. But I still want like I almost want the leader to be more upfront and dastardly, like a little villainous, because I feel like we're not getting some of that.
Yeah, the Maester,
Yeah, yeah.
who looks like the guy from Hotel Transylvania.
Yo, he does. I was thinking like Count Chocula or something.
Yeah, a little bit, a little bit. Yeah, I don't even know what his power is. I don't know what he does. But yeah, I'm with you. Sean? Did you like the little black cat appearance here?
Nope. I thought that was not cool.
Okay.
Um, it just it's just like, I don't know, stay sequestered, stay doing your thing. They referenced her, they referenced Storm. It's like, why all these references? It almost feels like, hey,
Oh,
Your
and
mic.
your mic thing happened again. Well, Sean's got a new mic, guys. We're working on it. We're figuring out the kinks here.
And then Matt Fisher, thank you so much. If Sean loved this book half as much as we do, he would still like the book one third less than one quarter of us do.
Okay, Scott Snyder.
Snyder.
Oops. Comic book show. Had to keep it relevant.
Uh yeah, I mean, I I just feel like, tell the story that you're telling and leave it at that. Don't try to appeal to people who, anybody who's buying this book to this point knows what they're getting.
Yeah.
You either like it or you don't. And you're probably locked in if you're still purchasing this. For me though, I like I said, I didn't hate it. I enjoyed it. I was shocked that to this point, what's happening is still what's happening.
Yeah. It's still that kid with the shadow powers and his thing and big mystery on what this whole world is. Yeah, it's still happening. Again, that's why I feel like it's paced like a manga, except it's released like a Western comic.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Uh, like I said too, I think Peach's art is awesome. I really like her armor, her rendition of armor. It's nothing revolutionary. It's the same thing you would see in mainline. She's just like the armor is a little bit more compact, like it's more close to her body, which I like. I also get the impression that she hasn't fully unleashed what she can do,
Sure.
and that's cool as well. Um, I don't know. I don't have anything bad to say. I'm not going to buy this, but I'm not going to sit here and yell about it either.
Sure.
This is fine.
Sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this was still a poll. I've been enjoying the series, and I want a little more from Peach Momoko. Um, After this, like the stuff leading into these moments have been really hot. The cameos have been really hot, but um, now I want to be able to play more in the world that she's building. And sometimes we get issues like this where it feels a little setupy.
It just, you know what? Sure, no problem. I'm gonna wave the green flag. Cool.
I will continue to read this in chunks, I think. I'm buying the issues. I enjoyed the 4 or 5 issues I read in a row. I thought it was better read that way.
Yeah. I had you
I
as a pass on this, Sean, but I'm glad to be turning that red green.
No faith.
I can definitely see what you're saying, Tyler. Like I didn't catch up. I just jumped into this one. But the the cadence of the book that I recall feels like it would feel, a lot better if the content caters to you if you read it in chunks. Like if you read it as a trade, 6 issue clips or whatever. I think that's probably an appropriate pace for this book.
I see that.
I just won't be doing that personally.
Yeah.
Matt Fisher with the 5 spot. I still think they are forcing this book into this universe. It's going to look very weird to see these kids drawn in a different book. I do agree with that.
Valid. Yeah. There's an aesthetic that's already been kind of introduced in this world. And so to see that deviate to such a degree, because nobody else is doing watercolors like this, right? So to see that represented in another way, we might not even recognize the characters.
Even from a coloring standpoint too, like everything's muted in this. The only things that really pop out are Natsuo's, Cyclops beam that shows up occasionally, which is like a brighter red than everything else. But everything is a muted, darker color throughout this book. So, like, I don't know what these characters drawn by Chichetto look like.
Yeah.
I mean, Chichetto would have to be drawing the issues to see that. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if, like, these characters are even involved in whatever this event coming up next year is.
Alex says not a fan of Ultimate X-Men because Peach clearly isn't writing or wants to write an X-Men story. I mean, again, I've been banging that drum since day one that this doesn't feel like the X-Men, and I don't want this. Like Ultimate Wolverine feels a lot closer to what it is that I would like from the mutants in any space. And I also think it's fair to say that if Peach Momoko said, like, if they approached her with this and she said no, that whoever they would have gotten would have done something a lot more traditional. Is that a bad thing that this is what we got? That's not really for me to say. There are clearly people who are enjoying it, and that's what matters.
Yeah.
And like every time I look on League of Comic Geeks, whenever this book is out, it's like the most pulled. So people seem to love this book. So I think whatever gamble they made on Peach here is working.
It's scratching an itch. Yeah.
Lazaro Bosch says it's hard because I appreciate how different the art is and Peach Momoko, but man, I had to drop this book because there's a lot of things to read and buy. Certainly, it doesn't feel necessary. It feels to the grander Ultimate Universe. It doesn't feel like you got to be on this train. It's a luxury comic in that way.
Yeah, like the stuff with Meister, the Children of the Atom, it hasn't tied in quite yet. It's been slower. So, and I guess that's what I'm kind of missing is how are we laddering up?
Yeah.
Matt Fisher with the $5 says, ironically, I think this is the one book that stays the course once the Hickman stuff is done. I don't see how it can continue in any other form.
I say what Hickman stuff? He's just doing Spider-Man. He's not even doing the event book coming up.
Yeah.
It just kind of feels siloed, callback, in its own section of the Marvel Universe. I think the idea of Viper being in the book occasionally and her also being in that Nick Fury Ultimate Universe 1 year in book is a kind of a thread there. She's the tie to the maker in this. So it exists in this world and it also doesn't at the same time. My issue with it is that we had mutants. So in Ultimates, we had flashbacks during Captain America's issue where the mutants had a revolution already. There was like protests about pro-mutant or pro-mutant stuff or whatever. So the idea of mutants exists. So why is it scary to see all these mutants in Japan? So this is where I'm like, okay, there are some plot points that are incongruous to the rest of the Ultimate Universe. That kind of bugs me as like a continuity nerd.
Yeah, I
It's a fair
agree
point.
with every single word that you just said. Let's close the poll out and see where you guys land with this. Didn't buy or read is 32% of you. Poll is 30%, pass is 20, and pick of the week is 16. So let me see. 46% of you in total purchased this. 52% of you didn't or didn't like it.
But it won the poll So
but it won the poll.
So that leads me to believe they wanted you to read this because you didn't like it.
I feel like
What the fuck?
Oh, the mic's working.
I feel like people want to do check-ins with this kind of. This is like one of those books that's like, let me pop in. Let me just. What are people saying about it?
Sure. Well, we've got a poll up now that is definitely missing Ultimate X-Men. Well, there's no new issue of it. It's a 3v1. It's 3 DCs and a Marvel, the way you guys seem to prefer it. We've got Power Man Timeless, #1, as the sole representative of Marvel Comics, sitting at a paltry 11%. The Atom Project #2, 18%. JSA #4, 34%. Currently winning the poll by a slim margin, though, is Batgirl #4 at 37%. For what it's worth, JSA and Batgirl are quite good.
Yeah, hell yeah. You still on the JSA train?
Oh, big time. Yes.
Yeah, I caught up on Batgirl too, and it is a gorgeous ass book.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, next week, fucking Ultimates is back. We're getting a double dosing of Luke Cage next week, possibly if Timeless wins.
Timeless ain't winning shit.
It ain't winning. We're getting a single dosage of Luke Cage next week. Okay.
Yeah. And again, chat, you know, I want to make sure that I say this, like, there's really no antagonism here. If you enjoy this book, Ultimate X-Men, that's awesome. This isn't about saying, you know, oh, you shouldn't like it. I reviewed this favorably despite the fact that I don't care for this series at all. But to each their own, it's all good if you like it. That's cool. Chris says, I picked Hellhunters. Thank you. Cole says he picked Hellhunters as well. Thank you. I wish Hellhunters would have won. But in a way, I'm glad that the final word for now from me on Ultimate X-Men is positive.
Hey, let's go. Positive, which, as we know, Mr. Terrific only dabbles in.
Right.
Yes.
Last comment before we get to the next book. Steve Canaris says the $1 million question is Ultimate X-Men drawing in manga readers to US comics? That is definitely not happening.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the point of bringing her on board, Peach on board. I don't know if that's why. I mean, I think they know Peach's money. They know that her variants sell. They know that her minis have sold. And so I think this was a decision motivated by money and not creative. Not to say that I don't think Peach is creative. I do think she is. I also don't say Marvel isn't happy with what she's doing. I'm sure they are. I just don't think that the creative, wider Ultimate Universe, like, logic was why she was chosen for this, so much as how much they thought it would sell based on her name.
Yeah, it felt like they were launching a new universe and they needed some weight to it in terms of creatives.
Yeah, for sure. Strategic. I mean, you know, got to make it work. I did want to just call out Lazaro Bosch's comment because I did pick this one up and I want to read it. Star Wars: A New Legacy was a great book this week, an awesome jumping on point. Very excited. It's like all the ancillary characters that we've seen being built up in the Star Wars universe have their own book. It seems like a team book.
So Black Chrysanthemum's in that too, right?
Yeah.
Love Black
Afra.
Yeah.
The droids. Yeah.
Thank you for that, Scripture. Scripture says, haven't read any of the books. Going to catch this later. Just wanted to stop by, say hi, and smash that like button. Appreciate you, bro.
Smash.
Everybody smash that like button, please. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, let's talk Turtles. Turtle talk.
Turtle time.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #6. Oh, shit. This was $4.99. I didn't even know that.
What a way to start that. oh shit.
Whoa. Juan Ferreira jumping on board finally. Sean Lee on the letters. The reuniting of the Turtles is what we've all been waiting for. In some ways, you could make the argument that this is really where the series begins. Because now the Turtles are reunited. They're all in New York, but not all is well in New York, nor is all well with the Turtles, because these brothers are at war internally. Something happened in the prior arc, the non-Jason Aaron stuff, the Sophie Campbell stuff, that caused the Turtles to fall apart and be scattered, and they are still reeling from those events, plus the death of Master Splinter. That is largely what this issue is about. It's about them getting back into New York, finding that they are being hunted by the Foot Clan, who have integrated themselves into law enforcement, into the firefighters
Yo, everywhere, dude.
somehow. Yeah.
Fucking
Um,
janitors.
and that's it. That's it. Look, we're talking turtles. I'm telling you right now, double green for the Green Gang. This was my pick of the week.
Oh,
Fire, 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 fire.
This is the one I was waffling on between this and the Lex Luthor special. Yeah.
really?
Crazy good.
Honestly, you could have had the worst script ever, and it has Juan Ferreira on it. Like I thought his the way Juan Ferreira draws the turtles is so good. It almost feels like he's drawing the old action figures. Like there's a panel where they're arguing, and you kind of get side profiles of each of the turtles, and they're very round, like they're snouts. I don't know. This is not real anatomically correct turtle, but like the snout is round.
Yeah.
I was like, man, it just feels good to see that.
Yeah, I'll gush because I fucking thought this was tremendous. And Tyler said, this could have had no script. And I agree. I saw some of these pages at New York Comic Con with no script, and
Yup.
they were breathtaking, bro.
The
Unbelievable.
the wall climbing one. Yeah, and we spoke to him too about this page in particular. He showed us the inks. Oh, that was so cool.
Yeah.
And it was constructed differently. He told us why he made the choice. So it was really interesting to also see to see this live now and then reflect back on that conversation. It's like, oh shit, okay, I get it, I get it.
Yeah, man. The way he draws the turtles, their visceral the physicality of them, how he gets across that something is wrong with Donnie by his physicality. He's skinnier, he's not standing straight. Raph is often like angry, and you can see his teeth. He's gritting his teeth. He's flexing. He just gets all of their physicality exactly right. He nails it, man. I haven't seen Juan Ferreira interiors beyond like a handful of pages since Colder.
Your mic again,
Mike
Sean.
went.
Yeah, Sean, your mic
Oh.
went. Yeah.
Uh, I, Shout out to Lazaro because he's asking where's a good jumping on point for TMNT comics. Transformers and TMNT were IPs I haven't jumped on. Hey man, right now, like this
Yeah.
is where it's all starting. The turtles are together. If you're trying to catch up, you can go back and read the first 5 issues if you want. If not, it starts here. And I think the rendering of all the turtles, the nighttime shots that we get, the sewer shots that we get, all of the action is really well represented. I did feel like this was a kind of the pacing was a little dragged on. There were moments, especially at the end, where they're confronting the police officer, and the cop pulls out the gun, and for 3 pages he's just kind of pointing at them, and I'm like, wait, he was about to threaten to shoot. Police freeze. Hold on a second. They're arguing, but like you can see him in the background. There's even a follow-up panel, and they get surrounded as well. There were just moments that felt like they took a long time to kind of resolve. That was my only critique of this. Towards the end, it kind of like pumped the brakes on things and stretched out for a little more emotion. It felt like it was squeezing too much out.
I could see that if we hadn't just had 4 issues of the Turtles, or 5, excuse me, of the Turtles not together. I feel like there's a lot that they have to resolve, a lot they have to talk about, and they don't even have moments to breathe. This issue is action packed and drama packed. And that's what I love so much about it. Aaron understands that this is what we've been waiting for. Certainly, as a writer, this is what he's been waiting for. So he's milking every moment of the drama that's there, but I don't feel like milking it in this case is a pejorative. I think it's exactly what needed to happen, especially because we do get so much action, them fighting against each other and the Foot Clan.
Yeah, we need that turtle milk. That's what Sean's saying.
Oh, God.
No.
No? Okay.
Oh, poor little Splinter's dead.
Man, I'm a Donnie fan. That's like my only real gripe with this is like, they're doing Donnie a little dirty right now. Like, I know he's going through it. He's having trouble. I did like that one bit where it's a panel of a firefighter. It's a Foot Clan, and he got the axe. He's about to just drop it on Donatello. And in my head, I'm like, I don't think that's gonna work. He's got a titanium shell. And then they cut back to it, and it just gets like this clang sound effect. I thought that was great. I was like, okay, good. I was right. I have some memory of Turtles continuity for once in my life. I thought that was a great bit. I wanted to call out the quick sequence with April O'Neil.
Oh yeah.
Because this is her first time seeing her in this book. In this run, I believe. And she's there at, Casey Jones' bedside, and it looks like she's taking on the mantle of Casey Jones. Like, does he go by a name? I don't think so, right?
I don't think so.
I don't know that he does.
He's just Casey Jones, right? But she takes his hockey mask and pretty much says, like, alludes to the fact that she's going to take over that mantle, which I'm like, hell yeah, cool, let's go for it.
Can I gotta bring this up.
Sure.
This is so stupid. There is a video game called Splatterhouse. It's a series on the Sega Genesis. It's a fucking roided up guy with a mask and a hockey stick beating the fuck out of demons. And I thought when I was a little kid that was Casey Jones.
No.
So when I see that mask, I think about Splatterhouse.
That's like a cult classic game. I've never played it, but I know exactly what you're talking about. It had
Very hard.
Yeah.
This issue was hard, man. Like, I can't fucking believe how good this was. Like, it just feels so good to be existing with these characters and to watch their journey. And we haven't even seen Shredder yet. Like, they haven't even gotten into all the villains that I love from the Turtles, and I'm on the hook. This is everything. I can't believe how much I'm enjoying this.
Much like that little zombie boy, Jonathan. You like turtles.
What zombie boy?
God, man, does nobody appreciate classic internet culture here? Jeez. I like turtles kid? No?
Know what you're saying, dude.
Wow. References are killing me, bro. I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, the chat's gonna back me up on this one. This is a classic. Come on.
Go ahead, Marco.
I think overall the energy of the book has propelled this forward. I've been having a lot of fun just seeing the characters. We get to see the big bad here. The mayor?
Yeah.
Kind of walk in on them, and now they're trapped. They're literally surrounded in Times Square, the worst place to be, and especially if you're surrounded by everybody and their mother. So it's one of those situations where we're kind of left off like, what are they gonna do now?
Hell yeah. Now Lucas Holner with a reference that I fuck with. Party's over, Grandpa. That's a Botchamania level WWE reference. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know what else to say other than buy this book, man. Like the poll is disappointing me. Because basically none of you bought it. But I really think this is awesome. I see some questions. Should I buy this? Should I jump back on? Is it a jumping on point? Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes.
I'd argue any issue is a jumping on point. Do you know that the Ninja Turtles are 4 Ninja Turtles? You're good. There's not much to the book in terms of like deep continuity or storyline. It's pretty, ground level right now. Just jump on. You could have jumped on with issue 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just jump in.
Yeah, and that's why they made it kind of singular focus, because you can just jump on at any point to get this started. You have 6 issues to jump on. You still got it.
Yeah, and I would definitely say do not allow the number 6 to dissuade you. Go get this. It's really good.
Who would have thought, huh? The year of our Lord 2025, we'd be hyping, glazing turtles here.
Well, it's kind of like that Transformers thing, right? But the difference is that I don't think I'm gonna get tired of this. It feels like there's something emotional and something that I can sink my teeth into on that level, to where like I really care about these characters, and I just think that there's so much left to explore. They haven't even scratched the surface of what can be explored. So, loving it.
Cole with the hack here. I've been buying them a month late. They drop in price from $4.99 to $1.99 after 30 days on Comixology. Look at my man, cost effective out here.
Why is that?
Why not? Hey
I
man.
mean, sure. I guess that's the answer to anything, right? Why not?
Hey,
Screw actual answers. Why not? It's fine.
Let's end the poll. This disappointing poll. 56% of you say didn't buy or read. Pull is 38%. Pass is 2%. And pick of the week is also 2%. Damn.
2% like milk.
Mr. Funiverse says, honestly, I'm going to try and pick this up. Never read a TMNT comic before, but if you guys say it's good, I'll check it out. I do say it's good. And I say, if you have not ever known the Turtles in comics, you are in for a surprise because they are who you think they are, but they're also not. Like, the stories and the characters are a little bit grittier than the movies and whatnot. I think the energy is very close to the first movie.
And before issue 1, did we ever tackle a Turtles comic on the show?
I don't think so.
Did you do Last Ronin before me?
No.
Pre-crisis? I don't think so, man.
Pre-crisis.
That's how I've been referencing it.
Comic Book History says, I'm sure more people are reading TMNT than read Aaron's Avengers. I don't know, man. The first issue of TMNT did over 300K, but I don't know if it's selling in that neighborhood now. I mean, it's definitely not selling in that neighborhood now. I don't know if it's competing with the Avengers in sales. I have no idea.
And thank you to IDW for the advanced copies.
Yes.
Yep. Also, first issue of Ninja Turtles will have the new IDW logo on it.
Yeah, I saw that. ID?
No, the W is there.
Is it?
If you slice the I and D in half, the W is...
It appears.
It is there.
Don't you just love those logos that make you think and squint and do all that busy work?
Because then it would be INW, wouldn't it? Never mind. This just I won't trash on it too much.
All right. Well, let's get into the Image comics this week. I don't have physical copies. Thanks to Image for making sure that we can still read them. The season's number 1. We'll start with. This is by Rick Remender. Rick Remender number 1. How could you skip it? Paul Azaceta on art with Matthias Lopez on the colors. Letters by Russ Wooten. So, man.
Okay. All right. It's gonna be good.
I look forward to a Rick Remender comic like nothing else. Really. Like, I don't even look forward to Grant Morrison comics anymore. The way I look forward to a new Rick Remender book. And I have to tell you that I don't know what the fuck happened here. I'm not all the way clear on what this was about. Maybe I read it in a weird moment in time, but like there was a woman who's a post woman of some kind, and she's trying to get this message along, and I don't fucking know what I read.
This was a very non-Remender book. I really liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun. It is a weird one. I'll agree with you, Sean. Like, it starts off in this like war-torn Cairo or Neo Cairo, as it describes here, where these weird clown people have taken over the city, and the city is pretty much in hysteria, like silent hysteria. And then it cuts to this other city where we meet like Spring Seasons, who's our protagonist of this book, who's a post girl, and most of the issue deals with her Looney Tunes style chasing after a letter. That's literally the most chunk of the issue. It's just a gag. And it's goofy and it's weird. And I hear like, was it like Flight of the Bee? What's that like orchestral song?
Flight of the Bumblebee, yeah.
Flight of the Bumblebee, yeah. Like I hear that while I'm reading this.
Ooh, yeah.
It is not a tradition. Like I didn't see one daddy issue in this book. I was like, whoa, am I sure Remender wrote this? I mean, actually, no, if the parents are dead, so maybe it's there. Uh, I don't know. I thought it was kind of whimsical. Uh, reading the back matter, Remender pretty much says this idea was, came up during COVID, and he wanted it to be his take on like Tintin or like a Miyazaki.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, interesting. That's not something I would think you'd want to have a take on. But I thought this was gorgeous, first of all. And I thought it was so not typical for Remender that it intrigued me.
This was my pick of the week. This was
That's what I thought, actually. Yeah.
phenomenal. There was, I think, it felt like he's playing with a lot of rhythm here. He's playing with a lot of cadence. He's we recently had Kieran Gillen on, and I asked him about music and like how you can't really control time in comics, but here, I think what Remender is trying to do is kind of trick us into controlling time by giving us beats with language. On page 9, and he does this a couple times. I'm only going to call out page 9, but there's the moment where we have Spring here on the bike, and she's going downhill, and then the next panel she's like, "I'm not going to spill you, you know, don't worry about it. Oh, it's a letter from Ga, Scree, Bump. Oh no, heavens, crash!" And then we get right back into it. But it felt like
There's a
music.
bit of a staccato there. Yeah.
Yeah, it was so good. Um, and it does read like adventure comics. Like the story, the characters that we might be involved are being played out in the interactions that are happening with her just chasing the letter. Like yes, it's following her and what she's doing, but it's potentially introducing us to characters we might see again. Mrs. Tandlebaum might show up again. Mrs. Hornsnatter might show up again. All of these different characters that exist in this world, and I think it did a really good job to be able to showcase that and be really silly, be really goofy. The old man who falls back again. He plays with a lot of silent panels where on one page, this is, well, I lied. I'm going to say it again, but on 13, she says, "Coming through." It is followed by a sequence of 7 silent panels, and then it just goes poke, hum, fup, 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 and then we're back into talking. We're back into conversation. So for me, this felt like all my fucking neurons were firing on this one. Just appreciating the way that he was making me think about my time and the way that I read comic. And then sorry, one last thing. The colors, the
Ooh, yeah.
bright transition to these dark gray and like dastardly part of presumably London. I'm gonna assume.
They named the
Uh,
town, and it's kind of a throwaway line, but there is a name for it. But I don't think it's a real place.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
it kind of feels like where Willy Wonka was set.
yeah, yeah.
Like this just
Like
sort of European esque place.
industrial,
Yeah.
kind of like maybe a port town or something like that. But um, where you see all the bright colors of one neighborhood transition into another neighborhood. I thought, yeah, man, this was some master comics.
Tilo in the chat says he talks in the back letter how he was inspired by Tintin, and as a French reader, I feel it. It should have been a French comic.
Yeah, I
It
can see
seems
that.
like what he was going for.
Matt Fisher with the 49 says, I don't want whimsical from him. I want suns failing, ninja schools, and reality hopping books that don't stick the landing on the final issue. Damn. I mean, this is a flavor, right? This is something that Rick wants to write, and I'm all for it because he's doing something different and similar in the back matter. He talks about how he's working with simplicity, but it's allowing him to do more, like by keeping it simple, by bringing it down to like nuts and bolts in for what I feel like just communication, being able to talk to the reader via comics. I think he's doing some really really good stuff.
Man, I just could not get into this. Maybe it's because I had to read it digitally. I don't even think like even listening to you guys talk about it, the things that you liked about it are not things that I like or care about. So it didn't like though it just didn't appeal to me. It's not a book for my sensibilities in comics, at least not this issue. I felt the same way about Righteous Thirst for Vengeance,
Hmm.
where there was just no dialogue at all, largely, and that really, really bothered me. Once I understood what Rick was trying to do, um, and things went forward and we got more issues, and I saw like what type of story it really was, I was in and on board. So I'm not going to trash it because there's every likelihood that it will become what I want down the road. But this first issue had nothing at all redeeming for me, and I don't imagine a reason for me to pick up the next one.
Cole actually mentions Righteous Thirst in a chat here. He says, Remender has further and further leaned into show, not tell, since Righteous Thirst for Vengeance. This is a beautiful and engaging book. I felt like I was watching a Studio Ghibli movie.
Sean, did the moment where it changed into this like almost spy drama do anything for you? Was that intriguing?
No,
Hmm.
no, I wasn't intrigued by anything.
Okay.
Like I'm curious as to why this is all happening. Like, what the fuck is this? But I guess I don't really care that much. There wasn't anything for me to latch on to.
You wouldn't care about crazy clown people, parades,
Word.
Definitely not.
bearded woman?
Pass.
Oh no!
Definite pass.
This is a pull. I really liked it. I am really interested. I think one of the things, and I wanted to mention it, is the opening, the cold open of this book, really kind of sets the tone, because it's this real, like almost like hyper realistic world with this dog barking, and it's like sand everywhere, and everything's destroyed, and there's goofy clowns walking around. So I think that's the tone of the book. It's like otherworldly in a way. I don't know. I really liked it. This is a pull for me.
Yeah, pick of the week. Wow, it's a good spread here.
Uh, did we get Ice Cream Man? Yes, we did. I didn't read it. I don't like to read digitally, so I only read what I need to digitally. And since it's not on the docket, I wasn't gonna deal with that. But I will buy it in physical whenever my shop gets it because I do want to check it out. I'm excited for I think the Grant story, Jeff Johns, and I believe Dennis Camp might be in it. There's a crazy list of writers, so I'm excited to check that out. Uh, you guys, there's a smattering of people who did enjoy the season, so that's cool. I'm glad that it resonated with those of you that did. Ending the poll here, didn't buy or read is 63%. Poll is 25%, pass is 8%, and 2% is pick of the week.
That hurts because this book is phenomenal.
You seem to like. Is this potentially like something you think about end of year as like a best single issue?
No, not
Okay,
yet.
all right.
Not
Too
yet.
early. Too early.
This, yeah, yeah. There's
Marco doesn't blow his load that soon.
easy, easy. No, edge a little.
I like seeing you debate whether you went with that analogy any further.
You saw me working. I was like, nah.
Man, I don't know. I wish I felt differently about this one, but trust me, nothing is more frustrating than a book by one of my people coming out and me not liking it. Doesn't feel good. Rick Remender is my top guy.
The guy.
Question, Sean. Since you said that you mentioned Righteous Thirst for Vengeance, and you eventually read all of that I assume one go, right?
No,
Or you were reading it for the show?
I dropped it around issue 5. Like I stopped reading it, but I kept purchasing it, and then I think it was issue 11 that we randomly reviewed, and I was like, "Oh shit, this is actually amazing."
Got it. Any chance you check out the trade of this?
Nah, I never buy trades. But if I were to hear that, like, man, this book is killer, it's killer, it's killer for a while, then I'll probably see what's up. How some way. Cole says Napalm Lullaby is also very good. You have to stick with Remender. Don't ditch it after one issue. I'm very seasoned with Rick Remender, but um, I stuck with Napalm, and it was boring as fuck to me, man. I don't know. I couldn't get into it.
Yeah, I couldn't get it. That one was one of like where I ditched after the first issue. I think we actually read two of them for the show, that one didn't really catch me. But then like Grommets, I love Grommets.
It's great.
Grommets is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So I mean, Remender's just prolific right now. He's doing a lot of shit, kind of in his own little corner of comics. So there's gonna be stuff you like, some things you don't like.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I don't really even overthink it at
Yeah.
this point.
I think that's
It's
actually
just-
good for a writer too. That means you're writing different things.
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pushing your bounds.
Justice for Comics says, "Hey everyone, what is going on here? We're doing comics justice by talking about them. We are talking about the weekly books that come out. That's what we do here on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern. Thank you for joining us and checking it out." Says, "I love the new Deadly Tales of the Gunslinger." That sounds like a Spawn book,
Word.
and we are banned from reviewing Spawn books here on this
Don't
podcast.
look at me.
We're looking right at Tyler. I happen to love Spawn, Justice for Comics. I fucking think Spawn is amazing. And I need a reason. Someone give me a reason to just dive in, man, and get those beautiful Spawn collections, dude. I want that bad.
I
Because,
would.
like, go ahead.
I was gonna say I would like to hear feedback on the myriad amounts of Spawn books that are out right now, because there's a lot of books that aren't written by Todd McFarlane, and typically I don't dislike those. It's the Todd ones that I'm just like, oh yikes.
Man, listen. Gunslinger Spawn was fire. And then also
King
the one
Spawn.
that King Spawn was crazy good.
That was
yeah.
good.
Yep. I was loving that. And neither of those were written by McFarlane. So there you go.
Cole said, can't wait for Remender's new books with Steve Epting, Daniel Acuna, and Yannick Paquette. Bro, is he just getting every good artist?
Yes.
Let him
Damn.
do stuff.
Damn. God damn. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
excited for that too, Cole. That's news to me.
James Jones says, "I like the Scorch." The Scorch was all right. It was not my favorite of those new books that Todd had launched at that time, but I thought it was cool that there was a team up book. I like that. So, Justice for Comics says, "I was lucky enough to get the two hot 1 in 50 variant for Gunslinger and Spawn number 360. Well, shit. Now I want to see what those look like. They're gonna make me open a new tab to see what those look like. I can't do that. I'll check after the show. Let's talk about Redcoat. That's our final book on the docket tonight. Jeff Johns, Brian Hitch, Andrew Curry on the inks, colors by Brad Anderson, letters by Rob Lee. This is Redcoat and Johnny Appleseed's Meet Cute slash Will They Won't They slash I Love You, Man.
A little bromance.
Yeah. What's that line from that movie? I just can't quit you, man.
The Paul Rudd movie?
No, Brokeback Mountain.
Oh.
I'm completely joking. So yeah, they meet up, and Johnny Appleseed is this nice guy. Redcoat is definitely a douchebag, and there's this crazy moment where Johnny Appleseed makes a massive apple, or rather, Redcoat makes a massive apple by mistake, I think. And then there's a worm that comes out, and they have to deal with the worm. Um, I I didn't care for this very much. This issue of Redcoat. I thought Redcoat 7 and 8 were both really strong. This one though, it just felt too off the beaten path, and I find that I really don't want this book to be Redcoat just going from time to time and his interactions with people. That's not that compelling to me, actually.
I had been frustrated with a large portion of the story, with like uh, Einstein. So I dropped the book, except for the things that we might read here. So this felt like a nice change of pace. I didn't care for the accent. I didn't care for some of the interactions. I liked this as kind of and I'm assuming just kind of a memory, a one-off story that is separate from the plot at the moment. Um, and him just kind of exploring Americana. I felt like that was kind of the promise of some of these books, was exploring different aspects of that. And this was one of those where he's tackling, a tale, a tall tale. And it was cool to also get a glimpse into how other people view Simon favorably. A lot of the first couple issues where, he's kind of a piece of shit. He's not always reliable or trustworthy. And uh, at the end of this, there's a reflection on who Simon is, and I thought that that was compelling.
Yeah, so this issue kind of tied in with the previous issue, which was 8, have been kind of one shots where Redcoat is kind of put in to a historical figure. The
Mm.
previous issue was the Bloody Benders, which was like a serial killer family that was
Yeah.
real. And now this is Johnny Appleseed, which I'm okay with. I think that's fine. I thought this was a fine, kind of cute issue. They should have kissed. But I just, I do kind of crave that longer form storytelling that we were getting with the first arc. I liked the first arc a lot, actually. By the time it was done, I had gotten used to Little Einstein's voice. And I thought it was really interesting. And the cliffhanger it left you on was like, oh, okay, hell yeah, let's see what else there is. And these seem to be kind of little snapshot stories here and there, which is fine. But I hope like the Annie Oakley one, which we get next, is more longer form. I don't know if it will be. But and also I like the historical fiction part of it too. So I'm of two minds about it. I do think I do think this issue was a lot of fun, especially that giant worm. Because in my mind, I'm like, ooh, are they doing a death worm thing? Like, oh no, it's just a worm from an apple that got big. So I like the little plays on historical fiction here and there, but I also do miss the longer form storytelling. So kind of both minds about it.
Man, I like arcs, and I want to feel that narrative through line, and I want to see him get into a larger story. So far, issue 7 is the best issue of Redcoat to me. And I didn't need the prior 6 for that to be the case, because that's the one where he's, well, I don't, it's I mean, shit, we're 2 issues on from it. He speaks to Einstein.
Your mic again,
You
Sean.
might cut right at the start.
We'll figure it out for the next episode. Yeah. So we heard Einstein, and that's where he cut off.
Hello?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Um, that was awesome. Seeing him speak with Einstein, I really, really loved that. And I think it paid off what we had just gotten in the prior 6. But I think it's time to let's get to another story, and let's, either have him meet up with the Northerner already, or have him, catch up to Geiger's time, or, maybe not even that, but like there are so many adventures that this guy has probably had. But I think right now it's important to establish a baseline.
I feel like we'll see Redcoat in Geiger before we see any kind of connection really that's meaty in Redcoat for the unnamed universe. Like the unknown, the Northerner has showed up a couple times, but it's more like Cable showing up in a book. Doesn't actually do anything. But I'm with you, Sean. I do want another big arc again, because like I also think that's where Hitch shines too, when he gets to kind of play with the storytelling that way.
Hitch has been the biggest revelation of this whole series. Brian Hitch is one of those artists that people basically decided it was cool to shit on Brian Hitch after him being a superstar for a decade plus in comics. And not that he cares or knows, but in a way, this is his middle finger to all the haters. This whole series has been fire. And I think when you look around Ghost Machine, you could say the same thing about quite a few of the people that are involved in Ghost Machine. Brian Hitch is one of those who is totally shutting up the haters.
Yeah, like even we weren't too hot on Hitch's work on like Ultimate Invasion. But this is like next level for Hitch. This is like right back to what I imagined, when I read like Authority, or when I read like his early Ultimate stuff. Like, this is really good Hitch. And he's having a lot of fun with it too, based on interviews, based on the times we talked to him. Nicest dude in the world, by the way.
Yeah, it's a cool guy.
Yeah. Very tall as well.
Indeed.
He could probably eat that apple that was in this book.
Yeah.
He'll probably smack down that worm.
Just to the art piece, I think He's able to like there's nothing crazy about the panel layouts, but I think the in between moments with characters they feel meaningful and impactful. The end scene where he Simon's talking to Johnny, and they're just having a moment. It feels close. It feels nice. Same where he's kind of reflecting on whether or not he feels like he soured the relationship. Yes, he's hungover, but you can also kind of see that he's upset about how he what he did and how he was acting. So there's a lot of emotion communicated.
Yeah. Hit to me, Hitch's best strengths are, his ability to do those big widescreen moments. But then also, I think he does some strong, poignant moments as well. And we see it more, or at least I feel like I'm seeing it more with Redcoat than I did with a lot of his superhero stuff because it felt like so much of that was about the action. Whereas with Redcoat, he has to be willing to do the little things as well. And Hitch isn't shying away from it.
Yeah,
I
very
This was a
so.
beautiful like visually, this was a beautiful comic, man. Those woods, the detail in it, like the level of detail that Hitch is still willing to bring to things is incredible.
The detail on that worm too. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's gross. That's yucky. Like I don't like that. I don't want to see a close up of a worm's mouth. Maybe
Something orifice.
do they got cloacas? I don't know. I don't know the anatomy of a worm.
I do have to say though, this issue really highlighted a problem that I'm having with not with Jeff Johns, but maybe it's just this issue and maybe I don't know. There are so many fucking lines of dialogue and
Ooh.
flashback like memories of him, his written word, Redcoats. It's like, dude, it's overload. Why? Because we don't know Johnny Appleseed, we don't know his relationship to Redcoat, and this is a one shot. That's why these one shots can be problematic. You have to fit so much in.
Redcoat is also a character that's written where he likes to wax poetic a lot,
Yeah.
and I think that does. It was noticeable in this. Like there was a one page where it's. I might as well not have been reading a comic, like because I could barely see the art because it was mostly,
Yeah.
these like word bubbles that were in the style of like classic, paper. I thought that what it was telling me was good, but I didn't even need to look at the art. It was almost like I was reading prose the entire time.
Yeah.
And that to me always feels like a flaw. It always, whenever I'm thinking about that, it feels like, uh,
That's one step closer to Lake Krakoa data page. I'm just gonna skip it.
Yeah. Because it covers the art, and it's like, what am I doing here? Like
It's not a comic at
the
that point. You know what I mean? Like if you're covering the art, half of the comic is the art.
well, I feel like I don't know. I think it depends, but it's different when it becomes a situation of, um, hey, we're explaining something to you because it's relevant to the current moment versus I need you to understand the context here because this is relevant to the dynamic that I'm trying to build instead of showing me that.
I need to address something real fast. Justice for Comics, dude. We don't get down like that here, man. We don't get down like that. He says, hate to say this, but you can always tell who is writing a comic with a lot of dialogue. Women writers. This is a comic written by a man, and we are complaining about what you were talking about. So that completely debunks your theory like immediately. But also, dude, you gotta grow up, right? Like just a blanket statement like that. That's not we don't get down like that. There are other channels. I'm sure you know where to go. You've been fine so far. The interactions have been fine. I'm not kicking you out, but I am telling you that that vibe is absolutely not what we do. We don't do that.
I mean, read Absolute Wonder Woman by Kelly Thompson. There's not that many words in that book, and it's
Yeah,
great.
yeah. I don't subscribe to that at all. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna say pull. No, that would be inauthentic. I'm gonna say
No,
pass. Yeah.
really,
I just
damn.
don't I just don't feel like you need this. I don't feel like I needed this. There's something I want from this book that it's not giving me, and this one-off issue I could do without. There are more interesting things to do.
Damn, an apple a day keeps Sean away. Apparently,
Yeah, this was a pull for the just for the cute story we got.
yeah, it's a quick yank, a quick pull for me. Not in the pick of the week contender, but I enjoyed it.
Fair. I think that's perfectly fair. Um, let's end the poll and see where we land. Let's see what you guys are saying. Didn't read or buy is 51%. Poll 34%. Pick of the week is 8%, and pass is 5%.
Marco, I have a question for you.
Yep.
Uh, hmm. Are you keeping these results too for your?
I was thinking about it, but I didn't find a way to like visually represent it yet. So I haven't quite yet, and I want to, but I don't know how to do so in a way that meshes well with what I have currently.
Are you keeping stats for pick of Pals poll?
I'm keeping, yeah, yeah. So for
Okay.
pals pulls, yeah. So any book that is a pal pull, I have here called out,
Okay.
and then I have a new system as well that
I
breaks out by series, issue, publisher, type, and initiative.
the reason I ask is I really want to see how skewed the pro DC sentiment is from viewers because the DC books are being pulled.
I have that in this new 2025 version. I have Marvel and I have separated out things like
Interesting. Okay,
Image,
cool.
Ghost Machine, etc.
I feel like what I'm learning is that our readers don't necessarily care for non-big two books as much.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Lazaro Bosch says, when's the next deep dive analysis? Are you guys going to MegaCon? No, we are not going to MegaCon. Where is that?
That's Orlando. MegaCon's Orlando. I'd
Oh
be
my
curious
dude,
to know how MegaCon is.
we should be there.
You don't want me in Orlando. My
Yes,
special
I do,
my special
actually.
interest starts coming out.
And I want to be there for that.
Oh,
That sounds
that's
mad fun.
total nerd.
Interest.
My friend's going to Disney World soon, and I'm like, yo, let me plan it for you.
Dude, I might be going.
Oh, let me know.
I will. You
Let me
know
know.
I will.
I got you.
You held me down last time with the
I only give you food
spot.
recommendations. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm saying like I'll help you get some lightning lanes and shit. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah. And to the first question, Lazaro, I appreciate you asking about the deep dives and what's next with that. I will have something to announce soon.
Oh,
Yes. I'm gearing up. So um before we get into the stack this week, I want to introduce impromptu a bit of a new thing here, and it's relying on Marco.
uh-oh.
Now, you guys know that Marco meticulously keeps our pulls, our passes, our picks of the weeks, and all of that on a spreadsheet, right? So, what I want to do at the end of the month, every month, is go over that to determine each of our picks of the weeks for the month so that we can say what our pick of the month is.
Oh, interesting. Hold on. Can I pivot this real quick?
I think it's got to be possible.
Sure. Marco, Command C, Command V, Command E.
Hold on. You do this. Doing this on the spot. Hold on. Let me.
I
Let me
missed
make
last
sure
week though. I missed last week. I still haven't even gotten to my books last week.
Well,
What are
I'm
some of
looking at what Marco has here for last week, and it's pick of the week for Tyler was Ultimate Spider-Man. We know that because you were in the chat.
Oh yeah, yeah.
For me, it was Hyde Street, and for Marco, it was Absolute Wonder Woman.
Interesting.
So wait, I have a system that I've been trying to develop. Let me see if it's working. So I have one for. Do you want it for each of us, Sean, or in aggregate?
All I want is for each one of us to go over our picks of the week from the last month and
I see.
say which is our pick of the month, which I
Out of those
can
5.
do right now.
Gotcha. Okay.
For me, I'm gonna say that my pick of the month is Absolute Superman, number 3, easily.
Oof, I might not even need to know my list. Because I think I'm with you, Sean.
Yeah, you picked it as well as your
Yeah.
pick of the week for that week. We all picked Dark Patterns for the week of the
Ooh,
17th.
that was a good book.
I picked Ultimate Wolverine. Marco picked Rogue Savage Land. You picked New Gods #2. So what do you say?
I'm gonna go with Absolute Superman #3 as well. That book still stuck with me a lot,
Hell yeah.
and then the Jason Aaron discussion only solidified that for me in the same month.
I'm gonna go with Dark Patterns. I'm big on the construction of comics, and that plus the seasons was one of those where I'm just my brain's going, things are working and firing. So I think I'm gonna go with Dark Patterns of the selection. I had Rogue the Savage Land, which all right, Absolute Wonder Woman, The Atom Project. No, Dark Patterns.
And that's 3, right? Dark Patterns 3.
Dark Patterns 2.
It's
Oh,
only 2. Okay,
Number
got
2.
it.
yeah. Okay. Cool. So we'll do that. We'll do that every month. I like that as a way to see like what is really standing out uh in the pack for us every single month.
Cool.
And then at the end of the year, what's the pick of the year? We can use this.
Then it's only a choice between 12 books.
Right.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
And it will help these specific books stay in our minds because obviously you get to the end of the year, you don't know what the fuck came out.
No.
We'll be able to remember, oh shit, yeah, Absolute Superman 3 was great. Yeah, totally.
Okay, makes
Actually,
sense.
to this, I'll be able to formulate a different ways to do stuff, which was the publisher of the year, ongoing versus mainline versus minis. So yeah, there's a few ways I'm thinking about it.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. Comics are dope says I'm here just in time for the end of Paul's pulls. No, 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 no. I didn't say anything wrong today. BJ Kicks of Comics Are Dope.
Today,
No, I think I heard something early on in the show. Go to like the first 3 minutes.
Why you guys always want to fucking embarrass me in front of new company?
in front of my friends.
BJ
Yeah.
is old company at this point, and honestly, BJ, just don't make me laugh. I literally have stitches. It hurts.
I'm talking about the new people that are listening to this.
Oh,
right now.
got it.
I'm
Okay.
talking about the
Oh,
you
your
went
mic
out
cut you off right at the most
right
opportune
there.
time.
Do it to him.
Hello?
Yeah,
Hello.
you want to get something off your chest?
What is this, a new fucking bit on the show? What was I even talking about?
You should just start faking that you were talking. Just
Yeah,
to throw
yeah,
us
at some
off.
point.
Yeah.
Damn it, man. Whatever. Mr. Funiverse says pick of the month is a great idea. Thank you. I appreciate it. And hopefully we can parlay that into some cool moments here throughout. Lucas Hallner says, is the stat counting books that Sean should have, but Diamond effed up? No. No.
Only books in hand. That's all that matters.
Mr. Funiverse says Sean's pull list is over, right? I guess that means no more stack. No, that is not what it means. Get those numbers in. Get your stack numbers in. This is a segment we do because I buy a lot of comics every week, and whoever gets the closest to the number of books that I actually bought without going over can win the code to one of the Marvel books that I purchased or the ever sought after no prize. I did cancel my subscription to my LCS.
Thank you for calling it a subscription because that shit was not a pull list.
Yeah, word.
Dude, I tried to cancel it the week prior. They wouldn't fucking let me. They still charged me. So last week I had to go on Thursday and deal with that horse shit. And you guys heard my story at that point. So this week I'm like, no more. I'm a Wednesday warrior, not a Thursday fucking whatever. Okay.
Thursday
And
simp.
There's a thought.
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. It's not Thirsty Thursday. I don't like it. All right. Wednesday. So I got to my shop on Wednesday just the way I like it. And you know what? I was like, man, something feels off. What is off today? What's wrong with this? Oh shit. There are no Image comics here.
Damn.
Bummed me out. bum me out. I gotta go read a new Rick Remender #1 on my fucking computer. How dare you, Diamond?
Oh no, oh no, I gotta read digital?
You have to read on the computer too. That's rough.
Yeah, that sucks actually.
Yeah, there's nothing good about this. Maybe that's why I reviewed those books unfavorably.
Ah,
It's all the blue light.
that's right. Yeah.
Oh, don't get me started on blue light, man. Um, yeah, I hope that the worst is over now. That I'm getting my books in physical on Wednesday again. No subscription, no pull list. None of that was good for me.
The idea of checking out Forbidden Planet is off the table.
Yeah, there's no discount. It's further away. I'm not.
Did we confirm no
comfortable.
discount? They never replied to my Facebook message.
Of course not.
Okay, all right.
Marco goes there. He said he doesn't get a discount.
Marco
Yeah,
doesn't
I
have a
don't-
pull. Do you have a pull list, Marco?
I don't, but
That's
you
the question we have.
But typically you would get like some kind of additional, whatever. But
Like if you told me it's a 50-cent discount per issue, which is about what I was getting for having a pull list. That's decent on a week-to-week basis.
they give you free bags and boards for every issue you buy.
My shop charges 88 cents if you don't have a pull list for the bags and boards.
Oh, free of charge. Minus 88 cents right there, dude. I feel like you're making money.
Nah, bro. Nah,
Not worth
bro.
it.
Comics Are Dope says I get 10% off all my purchases because of my pull list. Well, aren't you the belle of the fucking ball, BJ? You know, I got problems here that I need to solve. Do you want to switch LCSs with me? Do you want to deal with when you came to New York, you didn't even go to my LCS. You didn't even ask to see where I get my comics. So next time, I'm going to take you to my LCS so you can see what I deal with. So you can see their grubby hands.
Saying that's your LCS is like saying my local grocer is Target.
But it is. It could be. I've got Bravo. Actually, I don't think I have Bravo anymore. Yeah, I've got Fine Fair. Yeah, I've got all that shit. But I've also got Target. And you know what? They sell, dude. Target sells these microwavable popcorn family pack boxes, and you'll never need more. It's beautiful. I didn't know Target sold food.
Yeah, dude. The produce and everything, for some reason, they do it.
Hell yeah.
People buy.
Man, I do my popcorn on the stove.
Me too.
I got this pan with a crank on it that constantly turns the kernels,
No,
That's pretty cool.
and
I do it
use flavor oil, the actual stuff they use. I'm very serious about my popcorn.
flavor oil. Just use
No,
vegetable oil.
Flavor All it's Flavor All. It's a brand. It's the stuff they use in movie theaters.
Oh, sorry. I'm like, flavor oil? Just use fucking regular vegetable oil. What are you doing?
Oh, I don't fucking play about my popcorn, Marco.
Dude, I am more excited. This is no bullshit. I'm more excited to eat popcorn while I'm watching Captain America than I am to watch the movie. And I'm pretty excited to watch.
I'm not excited because popcorn is probably one of the worst things I could eat now. So
Oh no,
Right.
damn, that's
just my body taking away my pleasures in life. It's fine.
Dude, just bring a
Oh,
salad.
I got my gallbladder removed for anyone who didn't realize it. I was gone from the show last week.
I was just about to Marco had to leave. I was just about to say, do you want to tell your story on Saturday? But shit, man, if you want to
That's all it was. I had I guess an emergency gallbladder removal.
Surgery.
Yeah. So I got a whole bunch of holes in my stomach right now. I got a literal bussy right now. I got a belly
Oh.
belly pussy. It's got just holes all over me. So
No.
the laughing is really painful. So I'm gonna stop.
He makes a good joke, laughs at it, and he hurts himself.
Yep. It was mostly the Sean's. Oh no.
laughter is pain.
Winces.
Tyler's new lot in life. I hope that clears up soon. That's fucked up.
Yeah,
No,
dude,
it's removed. I no longer produce bile, Sean.
it won't clear up.
No, unless you got a spare somewhere.
All right,
What's your
well,
blood
don't
type?
be in stitches over it.
Well,
Boo.
they're glue. They're glue.
Glue?
They're glue stitches. Sometimes I'll look at it and I'm just like, I can access my stomach if I really tried.
Stop.
I know
No
it's
way.
it's a thought in my head. I'm like, if I just like go in, I could.
Just even the phrasing. I could access my stomach.
What?
Like, what the fuck?
I felt like my own Cronenberg movie.
He has a port system now. Just pops it open.
Yeah, you ever want to just slip a little finger in?
Just check the oh no, check the meter.
No, I don't. I never thought about that. Man, what is happening? Mr. Funniverse says Sean won't even take a couple extra stops to get it to a better LCS. I doubt he'll swap with Lucas. Yeah, Lucas, bro, you keep trying to get me to go to Albany. I ain't doing it, bro.
Far.
That's a state capital.
Fuck it.
That's a 4-hour drive.
Yeah, I wouldn't get down with that at all. I wouldn't even do that, Lucas, to visit you.
Damn.
And you're a channel member. So think about what that means, you know?
Can't. It's gas money.
Matt Cosmo says, I had my shit taken out when I was 14. So,
Hope you back.
someone went in your ass.
Oh, no. He's talking about his gallbladder, Sean.
Okay.
Yeah.
He said, I had my shit taken out.
You ever see that video of a guy who didn't know how toilet paper worked?
Yes. Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking
How
about.
could you not?
He didn't know people would wipe with their hand and put it in the toilet. He thought you'd have to put the toilet paper down on top of the water and you just pull it out of your butt and you put it on the toilet paper.
You catch it.
My man was digging in his ass?
Yeah, you catch it because it's gross if the poo hits the water and it splashes everywhere.
You never seen that one? Yo, that's
Sean,
so
I'm
funny.
sending you this right after the show. It's like a podcast and his co-host is like, what the fuck are you talking about right now? Dude? Oh, it's so good.
Yo, and they're all looking at. He's like, and he's convinced. He's
convinced
like, no,
this is how you shit.
This is how you shit. He's
What
like,
the fuck?
So you don't catch the doo doo?
And how come also we always end up talking about bodily functions on this podcast? Can we put a moratorium on it, please?
Sure. I'll try not to get my body parts removed next time.
If Matt Cosmo wouldn't have said that.
He meant his gallbladder, Sean.
All right, but it's not my fault. He used the word. He used the word shit.
Sure, but he said my shit. You know, like that's like, that means like, it's like almost a pronoun. That's like that.
Dude, I have a shit story to get off.
No, we're not getting off. There's no shit stories here.
Oh, I didn't say to get off too.
Oh, God.
I am dying to tell it. I will not tell it tonight.
Okay.
Someone
Save
will
it.
have to remind me one
Save
day.
it.
Pals at
Pound
night.
around the doo-doo pals. I don't know.
No. Look, Comics Are Dope says, yeah, Tyler definitely wins pause pulls for the week. There you go.
Came back with a vengeance.
Oh, my goodness. All right. Enough with the hijinks. Let's get to the polls. Keep the numbers coming. Tyler's going to take it over to read and rattle them off.
All right, so we got Matt Cosmo with 17, James Jones with 14, so speaketh Jones, Banksy Main 14, Mr. Funiverse 7, Venomark 13, Jonathan Cho, Money on 12, Carlos with 16, Luna with 12, Lucas with 9, Cole with 8, Gavin with 19, Steve with 18, Gage with 10, De La Vibes with 16, Mike Hank with 17, Pat My Shaft with 15, Ted H with 18. That's all I see here.
And then Marowak Oscuro was 9, a little farther up. And then Rami Darwish for 10.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. That's before the wave. Thanks.
I am very sorry to the parents that are listening to this with their children in the room. Gavin said, glad my kids are in the room for this one. Comics Are Dope said, I couldn't grab my headphones fast enough. Listen, bro. I don't think we've ever said explicitly that this is a podcast for children. I think we've mostly said, well, we've not said anything about it, but I think our cadence and language choices would indicate that. And then at night, you don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, on a Saturday, we might be talking about a deep dive or the future of comics, something really meaty. But on a Friday night or a Thursday night, when it's the three of us, we're going to talk shit, man. Literally.
Thank you, Title Disruption Event, for upgrading your membership to Comics Pals VI Pal. Let's
There
get
you
back
go.
on course. Let's get back on
Favorite-
course there.
That's my favorite fucking name of anybody in the chat. What does it mean?
It's
so cool.
Is that like a Coheed and Cambria album?
Yeah, like what is that, bro? That could be like a prog metal
Right.
group. Like, what is that? I need to know.
I think I saw them open for Dance Gavin Dance once.
I would go to that show. Fuck yeah. All right.
Yo,
we got
you catch the last ones? Yeah,
Inkology with 12, Comic Book History 11, Samuel Summers with 15.
Yo, Banksy man with the meat case.
Yo, that was the funniest thing in any of the comics that I read this week. That hashtag meat case, that was genuine hilarity.
Damn.
Hilarious. Comics are dope. Good luck, bro. Who's the who
He
you
can't
talking
spoil
to?
it.
Who's the interview? Give us the exclusive.
Chat.
He already dipped, I bet.
Nah.
He's going to tease us.
All right. Good luck, dude. All right, here we go. Oh, okay. Yes, he answered. Thank goodness. Title Disruption Event says that's what happens when a planet or star gets too close to a black hole and is torn apart. Oh my God. Oh, that's the coolest thing I've heard all day.
He ends it
Wow.
with title disruption event.
That's cool. Thank you for that. I love to learn. All right, here we go. You know about the 6, well, really the 4. We read 6 for the show. I read 4 physically that I purchased. West Coast Avengers number 3. Black Cloak number 11.
Wait, I thought no image.
Oh, yeah. Wait. Is this new?
It
Is
is
this
new.
even new?
It is new. We talked about it on Pal's previews.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yo,
Well, I don't know.
This
This was the only image book they had somehow.
Sure.
That's it.
Huh?
That's it. That is it.
That's 8 books.
Holy shit!
It's not because I didn't purchase.
Oh
those
yeah,
other
that's
two. It's only 6.
6 books. That is the lowest we've ever had on the show.
It's the lowest we've ever had. No one wins this week, probably. By the way,
No,
it's
nobody did.
Sorry.
Nobody. Yeah, nobody.
Yeah.
Everyone went over.
Wow.
Yep. It's the lowest we've had on the show. When I got rung up, I gasped for a different reason. This was the lowest final price.
Your mic
Thing went
again.
out.
Somebody clip the facial.
Hello?
There. You're good. You're
There it
good.
is.
Hello. Okay. That's the lowest price I have paid at my LCS. Certainly this decade.
What?
How'd it feel?
Bad.
Bad.
Felt bad. Yeah. I felt like I wasn't whole.
Man, it's like that's like pig status.
So had you gotten those 2, you would have gotten 8.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
I would have gotten more than 8 though, because then image books would have been available.
Oh.
And I would have picked up more shit.
Right. More shit.
It was the 5th week. DC only put out like 4 books.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And one of them was Lex in the City.
Yeah. So
the
it
other
was
one was good.
A slower week for sure.
Gavin Guidry says Sean knew he had us. Yeah, I did. I knew. I was loving those numbers. Mr. Funiverse said, damn, and I thought I was throwing at 7. Can I still get a no prize for being closest? No. No, you can't. You want to win your prize? You earn them. No participation prize shit around these parts, Mr. Funiverse.
Wow.
We don't coddle.
And like Sean, I'm looking at the other image books. Like there might have been 2 more that I think you would have gotten, like Hornsby and Halo and Ice Cream Man.
Yeah.
Yes.
So even then, it would have only been what?
10.
10? Still probably the lowest.
That's on par with the lowest. That was your lowest average last year.
10.
Right. Yeah, because I remember at least a week or 2 where it was 10.
Do you know if those were also 5th weeks?
No, one was literally the first was the first week.
I remember there being a first week that felt like a 5th week though. I wonder if that's the same one.
This past week. This past month rather, because Sean had to catch up on all the books that he didn't get from the week prior. He got 27 books on January 2nd.
Jesus.
That ringing up must have been scary.
Yeah, that was the diamond fiasco though. So
Somebody
Yeah.
stop me.
He's a murderer.
uh, Lucas Allner says, Sean, what was the number of you got your books? What you mean, man? Do you mean like what was the cost or what? Noodle meat, 14.90. My man, trying to win my favorite name, but no one could take it from Title Disruption Event. Says,
I don't know.
never seen a stream live. Love you guys. Love you too, dude. Thank you. Thank you, Noodle Meat.
Noodle Meat and Pat My Shafter in the chat today. Great names.
What is happening?
What's up?
Oh my goodness, I love it. Comic Book History said, "Did anyone watch Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man? It wasn't bad, but I won't be watching it again." I have thoughts on that I think I want to share on the show on Saturday, but I have not watched it.
I heard it was too woke.
I heard
that
it
too.
wasn't woke, and that was a good reason to watch it.
Oh, God. I misread the quote then. Okay. I haven't watched it because I'm just real bad at watching TV, but I know the art style looks fucking amazing because I love Leonardo Romero.
Hell yeah. Yep. It's exciting. That's
Anyone
that's
who has like
exciting part.
any negative opinion on his art just doesn't have taste. I'm gonna put that stamp on. I'm sorry.
I agree with that.
I'm sorry.
Lucas, yeah, like we said, I think my number would have been around 10 had I gotten my books. Near says, "Aren't you glad that you got less books so you can sit down and read Ultimate X-Men?" In a word, no. Again, no, it wasn't bad this week. I just, it's not for me. Not for me.
Got to catch up on that series. You just read the last like 3 issues.
Nope. Hell no.
No, I will
Steve,
not.
Steve Canaris, what are you trying to do to me, bro? What are you trying to do to me? He says more strip club money. What do you think I am? Who do you think I am?
You going to
What?
Pumps in Williamsburg?
Oh no.
Excuse me?
They don't take V-Bucks there. Don't ask how I know.
Kind of establishments do you think I visit?
Do they take Amazon, Sephora, or Target gift cards?
How many of those do you have?
Enough. We can make it rain Target gift cards.
I mean,
Plastic.
shit, if I was a stripper, I'd be taking an Amazon gift card. That's as good as cash, in my opinion.
I agree.
pretty much. I mean, you can't pay your rent with it, but
I think it's better because I could treat myself with it, you know?
That's what I'm going to use the money for anyway, right?
get yourself that wish list going, buy yourself some clear heels, and get to work.
Damn.
All off an Amazon gift card.
Wish list is already set.
Comic book history said, do they take Trump coin? No, only never mind. All right.
Okay, never mind as well.
Yeah, forget it. Hey, Saturday is going to be a fun show. Big surprise that I think you guys are all going to want to be present for. You're going to want to be locked in at 10:15 a.m. Eastern sharp for our big surprise. I think you'll like it. It's one of the most requested things from you all. So definitely show up for that at 10:15 a.m. Eastern. Not only are we going to be presenting you with a big surprise, but we're going to have a great time, as we always do every Saturday. Don't forget to nominate a book for Captain America month. I'm going to get that nomination thrown up for you guys right now. So make sure that you take a little bit of time before we see you on Saturday to do that. And thank you for being here. Hit the like button on your way out. You guys rock. We appreciate you making Thursdays for Pals Pools. Thank you so much.
Thank you to Comic Book History. 2 a.m. Australian? Jeez. Well, salutes to you.